Yo, what's up? It's Dreas, aka DJ Zero, and I want to talk about this top 50 greatest rappers of all time. I'm not gonna go down the list. It's Hot 97 posted it or reposted it, or at least that's where I got my source from. And oh, my wrist really hurts. And people are like going like haywire over Joe Button being number three. Uh, my 2 cents. I don't know how long I'm gonna do this video, but my 2 cents was I wanted to pull up my tweet, but I don't want to pull up my tweet. So I'm gonna say it the way I feel like saying it, just off the top, straight off the dome. I'm really looking at this list, and there's only two things that come to mind right now. Is one, I have no problem with this list at all. Nothing. I have no problem. Actually, let's say three things, because what I have attached to the first one, which is I have no problem with this list, is two. I'm only 26 years old, and I say this because anybody that's under 30, I feel like unless they went through the ground up with these artists that's been mentioned, has no particular say. Like, you can't not miss any of these artists. Like, if you, like, I don't know who AZ is. Like, I heard his name before, but I don't know who AZ is. I've heard of 8 Ball before. Mace, I wasn't there throughout his whole career. I wasn't there throughout Coogee rap career. I wasn't full out there for Prodigy. Like, there's certain people here I just go, I wasn't there to listen to everyone's career. On top of that, I haven't listened to enough of these artists for me to say they're lyrical or not. Which is why I say people under 30 won't get the context. And on top of that, I can't just sit here and go, you know what, I'm going to listen to Ice Cube, because Ice Cube is number 39 on this list. I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, Ice Cube's not lyrical, or if I did listen to Ice Cube right now and go, Ice Cube was dope, I'm looking at the list, that's why I'm looking away. Ice Cube was dope, and this and that and the third, because I didn't grow up with Ice Cube. I wasn't there when he was part of NWA. I didn't feel the NWA vibe. So now, for me to listen to it now, it's going to be a whole different experience than how I would listen to it if I was old enough to listen to it that time, when that time he came out with NWA, so on and so forth. So it's two different experiences going on. Like, yeah, you can say fuck the cops and blah, 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 but it's not the same effect as it was in the past versus it was now. Same goes for a lot of these artists. Like, I wasn't old enough when Biggie and Tupac had that beef. I wasn't old enough. I wasn't old enough to understand how serious that was. I understand it to a level now. To a level, I don't understand it then. Because if I was then, I would be beating up people that was representing West Side on the East Side of, you know what I mean, so, of the U.S. So therefore, I'm like, yeah, like I feel like when people say, "Oh, who's better, Tupac or Biggie?" I'm gonna side with Biggie because I like his music better, but I mean, was more fun orientated than try to deep dive listen to Tupac's. Like, I'm not saying Tupac's not a great artist. It's just, sorry for stumbling and whatnot. I'm like part sleepy, and I'm just thinking a lot right now. But yeah, and the reason why I have no problem with this list, the third reason why I have no problem with the list, is because I don't look at this as the greatest rappers of all time. I look at this as the greatest rappers of all time that impacted the culture. And for that aspect, I can see why a lot of these names are placed the way they're placed. And I'm only going to say it's like, if that wasn't like, put it as this, if that wasn't the case, if it wasn't for the impact of culture, then yes, the entire list would be rearranged and so on and so forth, because First of all, T.I. is one of my top 3 favorite artists of all time. Not currently, but of all time. And for him to be number 24 on the list, it's like, yo. But looking from the aspect of impact the culture, and for example, I'm gonna go. I don't know Nas's full out impacts, therefore, but as far as I know from like hearing people, I can see why he's top 2, and the potential things that he could have done that I have no awareness of. But for Jay-Z's is what his lyrical ability shifts the culture very unique in a sense, like in the similar sense of how Tupac and Biggie was, where it's like when Tupac and Biggie had a beef, it was West Coast versus East Coast, and anybody that was on the East Coast, that was West Coast, got fucked up. Anybody on the West Coast, that was East Coast, got fucked up. Especially representing those artists, definitely got fucked up. Like it's like Bloods versus Crips, like all over. As far as I am aware, I'm not gonna say that's 100% true. As far as I'm aware, and with Jay-Z, I remember when he came out with the line, "I don't wear skinny jeans because my knots don't fit." Every guy that was wearing skinny jeans straight out called out anybody that was wearing skinny jeans or baggy jeans. I mean, called out any guy that was wearing skinny jeans. Yo, you not gangster, you not thug, you not hard wearing skinny jeans. Until New Boys came out and they made it more okay to where that even Death of Autotune, where Jay-Z tried to come out and low-key kill anybody that was doing, not even low-key, straight out, just anybody that was doing Autotune, especially T-Pain, because T-Pain was blowing the fuck up. And I hate to even say that, but it's true. That shifted into Autotune, and I think Jay-Z stopped doing stuff like that in a sense, because he realized every time he mentioned something, somehow it found its way into the hip hop culture. Like, but even when Jay-Z announces something like that, even with the art, when Jay-Z dropped the OJ story and he mentioned the art, low key niggas start buying art and try to make that an investment. That's movement, which was funny because that's the same thing I was mentioning about Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole, which was they didn't have a strong enough, they didn't have a movement to make them all time. Like, yes, they're great rappers, but they never had a strong enough movement to say all time. Like, J. Cole came out and was like, yo, I love girl with natural hair and shit, and natural beauty, etc. And he did it in the J. Cole style. All the ladies are moving. The fellas are gonna start weave checking OD hard. Kendrick came out and spoke about brutality and a method on how to not go how to go about brutality. We all would have been about it. We all would have found Kendrick would have been a new leader, etc. And Drake taught us how to get back with our exes. Just taught the game how to get back with our exes, and all the ladies was like, yes, that finally somebody understands. All of us guys are just gonna go right back to our ex, and we're gonna use that method every single time we can. We're gonna burn that method out for like 5 times. I probably saturation of 5 times in a row, but definitely twice at least. We're going the culture of hip hop has a huge reliance on not just the rappers, but at the current state, the rappers. Like, we got Cardi B, we got Meg Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj, we got female rappers on the rise. They're going to be part of that leadership role, mainly for the women, but it's still going to affect the men too in the hip-hop culture. And, of course, we have the athletes and the entrepreneur side of it. But the origin of the hip hop culture stemmed from hip hop itself. So therefore, we look at these people as, the saviors of hip hop. Like, if we move, we move. And this is why I say Joe Budden's on that list. Joe Budden is fine to be top 3, is because he created a group. I'm not gonna say he created, because I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to state something that's not facts. I'm not gonna look it up. I'm just gonna leave it as it is. But as far as I know, he created Slaughterhouse, maintained, if not on the same level as everybody else in Slaughterhouse, lyrical based. Also being the leader of that shit. That's crazy. Honed his weight in Shady Records, which you rarely hear any artist from Shady Records, to be honest. If Shady even really has any artists in Shady Records, you don't really hear any. What else? I apologize. Has a meme of himself from Pump It Up, and I guess getting angry at the old school, which turned into the now Joe Budden turning the rap game into old heads. So now hip hop became having old heads stem from Joe Budden. You could argue it's Jay-Z that kind of stemmed from it because he's old and he owns a business and Roc Nation and all that. But old head definitely stemmed from Joe Budden, especially like being the center. Like anybody during the time when Romo Rap came out, and anybody that said anything about old heads, 9 times out of 10 mentally went to Joe Budden's head. Like went to Joe Budden and how he snapped on some of the artists and whatnot. But even that, like, he snapped but not snapped at the same time. But and having beef and etc. Like old head, and so he started that, created his own podcast, got to deal with Revolt, got to deal with Spotify, that impacted hip hop culture. By the way, it's just not like, oh, he just made it and it blew up. It actually impacted hip hop culture. It had a dent into it. I can't really say. Now we look at the list. Okay, yeah, maybe some people might need to be rearranged, but I still, again, like, whether Joe Budden not top 3, maybe he top 10, maybe he's top 25, whatever the case may be, he does deserve to be on this list for whatever the reason, because of what I just mentioned. And I'm pretty sure there's other things too, other than that, but Joe Budden's blown up in a sense, I would say, either being on the same level as Pump It Up or greater. So, I never heard any artist done that, retired, I should say, from the hip hop culture and made their name be just as strong as they were from whatever prime time they were. No matter what angle you look at it from, what his prime of Slaughterhouse, his prime of Pump It Up. Excuse me. Oh my God, this burping problem. I don't know why I'm even having this feeling right now, but nonetheless, or why I'm going through this motion of sick or whatever. I just came out here like 10 minutes ago, well, 20 minutes ago, according to this time frame, and popped on the computer and started going at it. Now, like I mentioned in Instagram post, there's 2 things that I have a question about this list. One, because it's real basic, they didn't put my man Cassidy in this. Cassidy with the 500 or 5,000 in rap battles, that made music, got into a car accident, had amnesia, didn't remember who he was, went back to battle rapping and still making music as a heavyweight and hasn't lost his edge. Now, the only thing that's not making Cassidy pop, in my opinion, is the type of beats and promotion that he's gaining at the current state. He's making merchandise. I seen that. He had Barbarian, the mixtape that was announced about, I think, last year or two. I know he's still working on the music currently. So in Philly, that's his central ground. I know that for a fact. I follow Cassidy. I don't get to see much of his stuff because of the way the Instagram algorithm works, but there's sometimes I do see it, and he's currently making music. I know he's supposed to be dropping a record soon, or if not soon, he already has dropped a record. Pretty sure he's on the verge of dropping another mixtape soon as well. But he's working actively, heavy battle rapping on top of that. So for top 50 greatest rappers of all time, he definitely should be on this list. Especially having Fab and Jadakiss on this list, you definitely got to put my man Cassidy on this list. Cassidy, Jada, and Fab was a heavyweight lyricist of like early 2000s, like unmatched, untouched, unparalleled. Like if you put those three in the song, like you're guaranteed to just like ears melted of fire, just like guaranteed. Like not saying they can't do it on their own, but like bruh, like you can't. I can't even describe that. That's like Slaughterhouse times 2. Them three alone, and not even saying like Slaughterhouse is like not a beast on their own. It's like, oh man, like Slaughterhouse, like Crooked Eye, Joel Ortiz, and Royce. Even me listening to their music, I'm just like, yo. The only thing though is like, I guess the only thing I guess I can say is maybe because Slaughterhouse never had a mainstream music like that, which makes me go Fab, Jada, and Cassidy has more of the potential to make mainstream music on top of their lyrical abilities, which makes them like the powerhouse of hip hop. I don't know. I could be wrong. Could hardly be wrong. And then Lupe Fiasco was the voice of New York during his time, or during the time where he came out with a cool, his first 2 albums. Definitely the voice of New York. Me and my cousins, me and my cousin and people I associated with that around the time, we definitely believe that he was the voice of New York. And when he was like the Kendrick of New York, I'm gonna say the Kendrick, but how Kendrick is with Compton and like the movement in Compton and how strong like he has a presence, Lupe was building himself to be that. As far as our eyes when we were younger, listen to Lupe. Like I said, I don't see much wrong with this list. One, I was never that much of a Lil Wayne fan, so I guess maybe me seeing him at number 37 is like a okay to me. I guess I can move him up to like a 13, switch him around with Pusha T, because like how much like there's like here and there things is like even between Rick Ross and 50 Cent, and then 50 Cent being above Busta Rhymes, and it's like okay, there's like a lot of jibber jabbers, so there's a lot of variables taken upon this, but to me this is like how much impact has one done for the culture, not for the community, not for themselves, like a legit culture base. Why am I sick? I don't know. But that's my take on the top 50 greatest rappers of all time. And the thing I forgot to mention, I just realized, is they didn't put any female MCs on this list, which was part of my pet peeve. And I felt like somebody like even Missy or Sierra, and it's weird for me to even say Sierra. Oh, it's a rap, so let me scratch that out. Missy, Eve, Little Kim. I can see them not being lyrical, but Missy Elliott couldn't definitely be on this list though. Like if not like the top 25, she would at least be somewhere in the top 50. Like, Missy could definitely be on this list. You could take out, I don't know who you could take out. Honestly, I don't know that many. That's what I want to say. Put Bob on this list. That'd be funny. Uh, crap, I'm trying to think of any other MC that's like current. I mean, there's Salt and Pepper and all them, but like lyrical wise, I can't think of anything. Like I can name like new like Nicki. Nicki could definitely be on this list. It's funny because they didn't mention Kanye. They can mention Ross, Jay-Z, and Kanye, but not Kanye, but not Nicki. I'm surprised they didn't put Nicki on the list. At least, because Nicki is lyrical. Well, at least it was in the past. I don't know about now, because she kind of sold herself to like straight music. So lyrically wise, it's like you have lyrics, but nothing like for you to sit down and full out think. Where's Drake on this list? God, I definitely see his list. He was number 23. What about T.I.? See, even that, I would have been like, no, because if Drake actually dropped this song that's supposed to be supposed to ruin Pusha T's career, he definitely would not be. But Drake would definitely not be below Pusha T. But again, not my opinion. Again, it's up and down. I really look at this as like who impacted the culture the most, which is why I'm like, okay. But at the same time, I'm 26. So me saying what my opinion is just me stating my opinion. I don't hold weight into the fact category. And the people that hold weight into the fact category will be anybody that's 30 and up, because they're more inclined to be around this everybody on this generation, and to know how it was during the time when listening to them. So my opinion is 70% invalid in a sense. So yeah, it's my take. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video. I feel like I might do these one topics more often in this longer duration. Yeah. So, peace out.